Whether you have a diagnosis or not, I don't care. I'll teach you how to find what's causing your health struggles using the blood work you already have right here on this podcast, but also in my new book, Why Are My Labs Normal? Go grab it on Amazon and let me know you love it and appreciate the knowledge by leaving a review for both the book and this podcast. In fact, this July, we are having a contest. This contest is for practitioners, and every practitioner who participates will receive my new step-by-step guide, How to Attract the Right Clients and Build Your Business with Social Media and Live Workshops, not paid ads. There will be 3 grand prize winners who will receive free access into my next Master Bloodwork live and virtual event, which is a value of $1,200 each. To get inside this contest and giveaway, you will need to subscribe and review the podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. You can get all the details and join this contest at the link in the bio. Winners will be chosen at random for the grand prize and announced on the podcast on August 9th. So be sure to subscribe. Also, this season 5, is going to be new, directed more for practitioners on Thursday episodes. So Tuesday episodes will be, as we all know and love. Thursday episodes are for practitioners and practitioners only, for the most part. This podcast is also sponsored by my favorite supplement companies, Systemic Formulas and My Biome. Come join me inside their private Facebook group for practitioners called Systemic Formulas Clinical Nutrition. For everybody to learn more, join Systemic Formulas on Instagram. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, Dr. Kylie. Today's episode is for the practitioners, well, really for anybody, but specifically for the practitioners, because we're going to upgrade our relationship with time, T-I-M-E. And I want you to pay really close attention after listening to this to how you speak about time. I don't have enough time. There's not this much time. I'm running out of time. Like, what are the messages that you're telling your subconscious about time? And we're going to upgrade them here with Coach Jen. Welcome on, Jen.
Hey, Kylie.
So you and I have had several conversations about time, and we've done some specific work with me about time. And we're going to get into that as well on this call, because at every point in life, we have more things come that demand our time. So when it comes to this concept of time, what would you say is the first step in upgrading our relationship with it?
Well, I think first of all, recognizing that time can be a way that your subconscious protects you, using time as an excuse. So if you're an entrepreneur building your business, if you are a busy mom and your plate is like full and you keep saying yes to everything, your subconscious is looking for ways to try and protect you, right? So what we say to ourselves about time is, we think that it's our conscious brain saying, this is my reality, but really our subconscious is like, okay, she's on the way to burnout. So we're going to try and protect her from that, or him. And we're going to start coming up with some phrases like, I don't have enough time for that. Time is, time slips through my fingers, like all those things that you say about time. So really taking a step back and realizing that you can have a good, positive relationship with time. And so for like you, we were just talking about how you've hired 3 assistants, right? That's a power move for an entrepreneur, for a business owner, to hire out things that that aren't your zone of genius, that take up more time, that you don't need to be spending. Like, you need to be spending your time working in your zone of genius. So
let's focus on that, because so many listeners are trying to do it all themselves.
Yeah.
And they're on overwhelm, and they're experiencing like, we're all really good at being a practitioner. We're not good at mindset. or business. That's just not natural to most of us. And so taking on another person and putting them on payroll can be fear too. But at the same time, it's alleviating so much time, so much energy from us as practitioners. And my big rule is not how, but who. So if I'm trying to figure out what the next plan is, for example, I'm in the works of creating this live in-person event. I know nothing about events. I know nothing about what it takes to run them or set them up. I know a lot of people I can have that's to speak at the event, but my immediate thought is, who can I hire to plan this thing for me? So who, not how. So I can stay in my zone of genius.
Exactly. Another thought that I had too is our subconscious can use time as an excuse when we have other belief blocks in the way. So like when we don't feel worthy, on a subconscious level of being successful, well, I don't have time to take the course or finish my, certification, or I don't have time to get back with clients. I don't have time to make posts on social media or do my emails, right? Like also money blocks can be an underlying thing. When we don't feel worthy of the money that we could make, we're going to find like our subconscious is finding ways to like keep us, safe from, the risk, so to speak. Well, it's risky to make more money because what are our money beliefs? Ooh, people who make money are greedy, right?
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah. And it's hard having money, making money is a struggle, so our subconscious brain is like, well, we don't want to struggle, so we're going to come up with this time excuse so that to keep us out of that struggle. So it protects us from a lot of things like the burnout, not facing, what we believe about ourselves on a worthiness level, our money blocks, and so coming to peace with all of those hidden beliefs, that are kind of sabotaging us is so important. And looking at what we say about time is like looking at a symptom, right, of what's really going on underneath. So powerful when you get it.
Yeah. I want to bust through some of my time blocks. So we're going to do a little session on me here. And I'll tell you where I'm at in my place in life right now is the bottom line is I have too much on my plate. I've stacked it to where it's overflowing, and I am trying to get as much of it done as a step-by-step process. As I told my husband last night, if I were to look at everything I had on my plate at once, I would crumble. I have to look at things one piece at a time. Tackle the next hour. Okay, get the next blood work panel done. Okay, teach this to the practitioner. So it's just one step at a time. But it's just the overwhelm of I need more than 24 hours in a day. Again, a story about time. So we don't realize how much of these stories we tell ourselves. Like they're all over all day long. And then we think back and we get into bed at night and all of us have the same amount of time. Every single person is allotted the same amount of time. What you do with it and what you prioritize in that time can be the multi-billionaire or the one who really struggles.
Right. And a lot of times people will spend more time worrying about what they've got to do and not having the time, that the worry just drains the energy out of them. Right. So so because the work that I do is all about energy. So anybody who's struggling with time, we're just going to have the intention that even though Dr. Kylie and I are working together on this issue for her. Like anyone who's listening gets the benefits. So breathe through with us as we talk about it. So let's release, let's just start off by releasing some worry, or not some worry, some worthiness. And we've worked on this before, and you're like, you can tell that you've worked on it because the way that your business has just grown and blossomed. Yeah, blown up.
Yes.
That is evidence that someone is working on their inner work, especially when they're not going down the road of burnout. Okay. So everyone take a deep breath, and let's just release from everyone's timeline. So just basically from, birth to whatever age you are now, anytime you got the message and believed the message that you weren't worthy in some way, we're just going to release that energy. So take a deep breath on that. And just connecting everyone to being worthy of success, worthy of love, worthy of being heard, worthy of being seen and valued. Just take a breath on that. And then I feel like the next thing that does want to clear is just, like more layers of the money blocks, right? So take a deep breath on that. Think about how you feel, like if you're seeing your bank account just fill up.
I feel like I see it fill up and then it empties out, and then it fills up, and then it's like there's so much energy of the money going back and forth and in and out that it's like I told Andrew last night, I said, I just want to pay myself. I don't want to pay everybody else. Can I just pay myself?
Yeah. And you've changed a lot over the last year since we've been working on that, as far as that goes. Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because when we first started working together, you weren't paying yourself at all. But now you've moved into this bigger space, this more expansive, where, and sometimes paying ourselves is hiring the help too. Right.
Like, yeah, again, it's the who, not how. I got 3 assistants. I've got multiple teams that I just pay their consulting fees. Because I'm at church last week or 2 weeks ago, and someone says to me, I don't know how you do everything that you do. I said, well, you also don't know how many people I pay. I pay a lot of people to help me do all those things. And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help and to pay someone for their services, just like people paying you for your services. Yeah. I'm really good at my zone of genius, so I want to stay in it as much as possible and hire out other people to be in their zone of genius.
Let's connect everyone to this, though, that you can watch your bank account fill up. And even though you're paying things out, it's always fuller than what you're paying out. So take a deep breath on that.
Well, that's true too now.
Yeah. But for anyone it's not true for right now, let's just connect everyone to, that the bank account keeps growing, expanding, even though you're paying for help and support. And so big breaths on that. That's a lot of generational programming that gets passed down, like that scarcity mindset that you've got to do things one way. So whatever the generational programming is for you and anyone else listening, let's just release any of that scarcity and really connect to that abundance. And that abundance it has very many ways that it comes into our lives. money, opportunities, referrals, just invitations to podcasts and TV and whatever it is that gets you out there in a bigger way. Take a big breath on that. The other thing that popped into my mind, and I'm not sure that this necessarily applies to you, but it came up. So it's like applies to somebody listening to this. Just that need to prove yourself.
Nope,
like
that's me.
Oh, okay.
Nope, that's me. Like it's so bad right now, Jen, that I want to have a billboard along I-15 that has my book and my podcast.
Ooh.
And the only reason why it would be huge for business. So stay tuned. I might have it next year. The only reason why I want it is just to say like, look at you guys. I did it. Kiss it. Like, that's the only reason why I want it.
To prove to all the naysayers.
To prove to all of the naysayers and to prove to this culture of mine that is so far behind in the functional medicine world that there's a better way. And here, I will teach you it. Come listen to the podcast. Go buy the book.
Yeah.
Plastered on I-15, the number one and only freeway system in Utah.
So I want to read this little meme that I saw on social media the other day. And I think this applies to all of us on some level. It says, feeling the need to be busy all the time is a trauma response and fear-based distraction from what you'd be forced to acknowledge and feel if you slowed down. So, it's okay to be busy. It's okay to have a lot going on. But recognizing if you're using it to like mask, or prove, like mask your unworthiness or prove that you're worthy, or mask your fear. I'm just going to like work myself to death and prove to everyone that, whatever. Like the beautiful thing is that like slowing down and like taking a look inside, recognizing, oh, okay, I need to let go of this whole proving thing. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I'm just called to help people, right? Like your bigger calling, is to help thousands and thousands of people that are struggling with their health, right? And when we're working our businesses from that space of like, okay, why am I doing this? Then we have the emotional energy, the mental energy, and the physical energy. We're not worrying. We're not running around trying to prove something. We're just like highly committed with low attachment to the outcome. Right? When we're attached to, the proving, the having, wanting approval, like all that stuff really drains the energy, really messes up our concept of time for sure. Right? Because we're running around. It's like the faster you go, sometimes the less you can get done. And so it's like that process of slowing down and really getting connected to time. So take a breath on that. I mean, if you were to really like slow down for a second and ask yourself, what does it look like for me to really, truly be connected to time without all the attachment, without the worry, without trying to prove myself? Like, what does that look like? What would my day look like if I was truly connected to time?
You want to know my answer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have 6 hour window between when I drop off my kids, when I start working, and then when I go get my kids. So I have a 6-hour window. I feel like I would actually eat if I had a better relationship with time, because I get to the end of the day and I am freaking starving. I haven't taken today. It's 10 to 2. I think I've drank 4 ounces of water and maybe had 400 calories and a couple snacks.
Okay, that totally gave me chills.
Well, I'm trying to cram so much in my 6-hour window that I don't even feed my body.
So, and as a health specialist, if one of your clients is doing that, what are you telling them?
Well, I tell my mother that all the time. Mother, that's so bad for you. You need to eat food.
Well, I mean, our brains use a lot of calories when we're creating and focusing and coaching and running a business, right? So our brains have to have nourishment if we're going to do it well. So it's like that whole, like, if you take 15 minutes out to eat, eat lunch during that 6 hours, you're going to have a more productive, like if you eat at the beginning and then eat in 3 hours, you have a more productive 6 hours than you would like with your brain just starving basically, and your body getting dehydrated. I just think that's so brilliant because, somebody might have thought, oh, there's going to be some like huge aha moment. And it is a huge aha moment, but it's super simple. Oh, if I was connected to time, I would eat. It's so brilliant.
Eat and drink water. I mean, I don't drink anything else, but
yeah.
How would I make time for that rather than walk upstairs in 2 minutes? If I don't see anything that I want to just eat, okay, I'm just going to walk back downstairs and start working again.
I would be so curious to what your listeners came up with. If they were connected to time, what's their aha moment?
Shout it out on social media, guys, and tag us. Tag Dr. Kylie Burton and Jen Poulson, and let me see what your moment of, if you were not worried about time, what would you do with it? And we can talk about time in 24 hours. We can talk about lifetime. Maybe you're 55 and you're thinking, retirement's right around the corner. What do you want to do with your time then? How much more time do you have left? I mean, yes, there's 24 hours in a day. Yes, there's 365 days in a year. But how much time do we actually have on Earth?
I remember when I turned 40 and my last child was going to kindergarten and having that moment where it was like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like, I'm too old to just go get a $10 an hour job and be a slave to, like a job. I hadn't been in the workforce for, years. And that's when I decided, I had the thought, like, I want to do something meaningful for the rest of my life. Like I had spent the first half of my life raising my children and, getting my college education, raising my children, going, doing some mission work, like doing meaningful things, right? Now my kids are older. Like, what am I going to spend the second half of my life doing? I wanted it to be meaningful. And when we find meaningful things to do with our time, I think that keeps us young. I think it brings us energy and joy. And I don't know, it brings so much fulfillment, and getting old doesn't have to mean like breaking down physically and mentally and emotionally. Like, it's like you said, we don't know how much time we have, but if you're making your time mean something, then wow, I think your, just life satisfaction is huge. Don't you think?
Life satisfaction, anxiety, depression aren't a thing anymore. Yeah. Possibilities are endless when it comes to upgrading our relationship with time. So next time on the next occasion, you use that word, what did you tell yourself about it? And then upgrade the mindset to say, I have more than enough time. Time is on my side. Time is my friend. Jen has better affirmations than me, but those are the first three that come to my head.
You said exactly what I wrote down.
Well, it's because you told me that way back when on the personal, I just tell myself this. Every time I tell myself when I'm over worried, or I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this done. And I immediately catch myself and I say, okay, time is on my side. Time is my friend. I get more done in less time. And that one's a big one. I get more done in less time.
I also wrote down time supports me, because a lot of times we're in this struggle with time. We think it's scarce, right? Mm-hmm. So just taking that breath and be like, no, time supports me. Time is abundant.
Yes.
I love, like, when you go on vacation and it just seems like everything slows down because you're just like so relaxed and time just feels so different, but you don't have to only have that on vacation. I like this last week with the weather being so beautiful and just being back from the beach and wanting to keep my tan up. I've been like waking up early, kind of just naturally, going out for my exercise, like really early in the morning because it's not humid yet here. And then like I'm done by 6:30 or 7, and I just bring my camping chair and I just sit at the park, and I get my vitamin D in. It's not like harsh on my skin because it's early in the morning, and I literally just sit there. Sometimes I just close my eyes. Sometimes I journal. Sometimes I get inspired and do an Instagram post. But it's like allowing myself just to be really present, not like busy and worrying and, what's the next thing I have to get done? Like that gives me so much energy. And I've been so much more productive, like really taking that time in the morning just to be still and slow down and be outside. So that's, it seems weird to slow down to move faster, but it really is true. Yeah.
I've talked to so many practitioners who go on vacation, and then when they get back from a vacation, it's like the creation, the momentum, it's just so much faster. Whereas if they didn't go on vacation, they would have just continued to hit that plateau and not progress any further. So they checked out, then they came back, and boom, they had the next level in their business, their next idea. Time is on our side. Time is our friend. Time is abundant. I get more done in less time. Just keep telling yourself over and over and over again.
And the magic happens, or you can sustain it if you do like take that time to be still. And it doesn't have to be 3 or 4 hours a day, even if it's just 30 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes. I recommend, a longer period of time, but
I recommend that I take 20 minutes and actually eat lunch.
Yes. And eat it outside.
Take 30 seconds and actually fill up my water bottle.
Yeah. I mean, it really will change, the slowing down to be still will change the pace of growth for your business.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for time today. Go follow Jen on what's the best place? Instagram at
Jen Poulson. my website, jenpoulson.com.
And then come join us, the two of us. We host group calls together inside my 90-day functional blood work specialist program. So not only do you get the blood work, but you get the mindset and the business tips and more calls just like this, so you can remove the money blocks that are preventing you from up-leveling and any other blocks that come up. In fact, we just finished our calls for today with that group, and we talked about the pain beneath the pain. It's pretty phenomenal. So come check it out. Get inside that next round. drkylieburton.com/programs has the information where you can come join Jen and I on these group calls. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you joined me today on this episode of the Beyond the Diagnosis with Dr. Kylie podcast. Remember, if you're a practitioner, you need to get inside this contest and giveaway. Check the link below to get all the details, and you can get my free step-by-step guide and get placed inside the possibility of becoming a grand prize winner and receive free access into my next Master Bloodwork live and virtual event. It's coming up soon. So grab everything you need at the link below, join the contest, get the goodies, and I'm here to help you. Why? Because we're all in this together. Come join me inside the Systemic Formulas Facebook group for practitioners. It's also a private group called Systemic Formulas Clinical Nutrition. Everybody else, go join Systemic Formulas on Instagram, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining me.